where we can go and we can move forward. And one more important thing, whatever I am going to talk today, it is somehow or it was somehow started or initiated by our Vice Chancellor. So it is soybean. I should say that in this university and in this corner is a brainchild of our Vice Chancellor. So and he helped a lot. So still he is a big sport. So I must thank him as well. What we are going to talk about, as most of you know, that there is a project which is funded by PARC. It has multiple components, and I am the project manager of that project. And I guess all the team leaders who are part of this effort, they will come individually and explain what they are doing. So what I will focus, I will try to tell that over the time what we have achieved and where we are standing now and what we are looking in the future. So one thing, if you see the title, so it says that introduction of soybean as a summer crop in Pakistan. So most of my colleagues who are sitting here and a recommendation from our famous agriculture departments and other policy makers, they think that soybean is particularly suited to mild temperatures. It's not feasible to grow this soybean under high or elevated temperature. This was the recommendation over the time, but this is the time period, or this is the time when we started to think why not we should actually develop this crop for particularly summer season. So this is how this whole work was started, and the soybean lab was established just to focus on soybean. Now to begin with, if we talk about soybean in the world scenario, so here you can say that at present almost 135 million hectares are under soybean cultivation all over the globe, and the production this year it was around 390 million tons, and out of these 390 million tons almost over 95% is GMO. And there are 5 countries which are the major producers. Brazil is at top position, and then USA, Argentina, China, and India. And this is the which is like very interesting graph. It tells that how actually the cultivation or area under cultivation of different GM crop, it actually went up during last 20 or 25 so years. And now you can see that soybean is standing almost at 100%. So 100% area of soybean cultivation is covered by GM soybean. And then, as Dr. Shah Saab said, there is no hazard because this or any GM crop, it is released following particular or specific protocol. It follows all the biosafety rules, and then it is made available to general users. So there is no harm. We should, and there is no option. We should go for GM crop, but again, there is a way we need to follow. So, what is the situation in Pakistan? At present, we are growing soybean in 2 seasons, autumn and spring season, or summer or winter season. So, the autumn season is between July to July, August, and then 3 months after. And spring season, its sowing starts between February and March. Now, what is the issue between these two time periods? That in spring sowing, at the time of reproductive stage or flowering or grain filling, temperature goes up, and it means that the reproductive stage or grain filling, it will be terribly affected. So shriveled grain, and then there will be less yield. On the other hand, in autumn sowing, if we follow the July sowing, there will be high temperature at the time of germination. So there are like problems in both time period, but we need to come up with a solution. So what as I said earlier, that the recommendation is we should sow it in the autumn season. What other problems which this crop faces? It is highly photoperiod and heat sensitive. What does photoperiod sensitivity mean? I will just show a picture after this slide. And whatever jump laws we had in the past, it is low yielding. And then we did not have diversity, as I mentioned that, or it was mentioned that work on soybean in Pakistan, it was started in 1960. Uh, and same in Pakistan. But now India is the fifth largest producer and we stand nowhere. The major reason is that they had the industry and we did not have any industry at that time, so it actually vanished from the system. So again, then during that time there was no production technology available, and at present there is a major competition with other crops, for example maize, sugarcane and cotton. This is very interesting picture. This is one of our elite line, heat resistant, and you can see on left hand side the same plant when it was grown in Faisalabad, and you can see its performance. When we took this plant to Gilgit up north, and you can suddenly see that the phenotype is drastically changed. We have other example as well, like you will see the plant in Gilgit, it is performing really good, but when we will bring it back in Faisalabad, its performance will be negligible. So this is the major problem in soybean, that we need to identify area, region and season specific lines. So what we did in at CAS, where we have a designated soybean lab, that we used conventional plant breeding and modern biotechnologies approaches, and we tried to establish soybean as a new, or just to revive the soybean in Pakistan. So to begin with, in collaboration with the UC Davis and Soybean Innovation Lab, USA, we used highly advanced computer-based simulation model. We mapped whole Pakistan for almost 15 years, and then we selected area, season and time-based lines. So at present I have almost 5,000 soybean lines which are selected based on our requirements. So from this selection, then we identified highly promising lines, and based on our requirements we did their nutritional profile, and whatever was our requirement we did all the tests. Maybe you know that soybean crop has different maturity groups based on its days to maturity and some other features. So they are from 000 to almost 11 maturity group. And luckily we have a jump log belonging to all of these maturity groups. And what we did, we tried to screen this material, and across Pakistan, from 5 to 15 different locations, we test this material. We tested, and then in both spring and autumn season. And the screening was done based on morphological traits, nutritional profile, biochemical analysis, physiological analysis, genetic evaluations, and then responses to different biotic and abiotic stresses. This is the particular graph which shows soybean performance in Pakistan. And this was the established trend. If you see, there are the same lines which are used in both spring and autumn season. And if you see that yield and performance in autumn season is significantly higher than in spring season. So this was the established fact. But then we identified a different line which perform better in spring season. This is a very interesting experiment which is based on different intervals based on time of sowing. So here you can see that we use different sowing time, 15 February to all the way 15 April. And for spring and for autumn season from 15 July to 1st of October. And interestingly, if you see, as we are going towards higher temperature, the yield of the conventional lines, it is significantly decreasing. Although the plant biomass and other parameters, they are not changing, but yield is significantly decreasing. On the other hand, if you see our lines which are heat resistant, they are sustaining their performance. So what we did, we took 15th February as a as a reference point, and then we compared yield and other parameters with this reference. On the other hand, if you see that in winter sowing, as we pass 15 August or 1st September, again the plant performance it starts to decline. And in winter, you will see really less growth and low productivity. Our winter lines, again, you see that they sustain their growth, and again they have better productivity compared to what we are getting from our conventional lines. So this is what we need to present. These are our three elite lines, and this is their performance in summer. So these pictures were taken from Bahawalpur. I specifically mentioned Bahawalpur because that is the point where it's a desert and temperature goes really high, extremely high, more than 48 degrees. And then these are the four conventional lines which are available in Pakistan. So most of my colleagues, they actually physically visited these trials independently, and they know the performance. So you can see these lines are highly heat resistant, short duration, determinate type, and they have really good yield potential. And these are the lines. If you heard Dr. Ali Raza, he tested one of these lines, and in intercropping and sole cropping, their performance was excellent. So in sole cropping with better management, it can go beyond 25 pounds per acre as well. So if you see even the grain, it's properly filled, not shriveled. And then if you see on left hand side, this is what we have identified in terms of jump log. So we have short duration lines which are ready. We have heat tolerant material, and then we have industry based soybean lines which are identified, and they should be available for NUIT and other trials. And this is again demonstration of our jump log, whatever genetics we have. It was again tested at 5 different locations across Punjab, and you can see the conventional lines, their yield was significantly low compared to our advanced lines. So, and again, there is a different genetics available based on your requirement, based on your area requirement. We have a window, or we have availability of lines which you can grow if you have 60 days time period, or if you have 180 days time period. We have that material. And again, this is the seed representation. In summer, you will see shriveled seed, while heat resistant line, they will maintain their seed morphology. And this is the material from our winter collection or autumn collection. This is only 75 days crop, which was sown after 15th September. And after 15th September, most of the lines, they don't perform. But here you can see that they maintain above 20 mons per acre yield. And the bottom line, this is the jump log which Dr. Abid Mahmood was talking about. We have recently acquired this material from Africa, and it was its first season in winter, and it performed really well. Actually, our purpose was to test it in summer season. So in this season, we will see that how its performance goes. But as we were thinking that it will not perform better in winter, contradictory to that, its performance was really good. No, I should mention this because many people were talking about a GM crop. So, like it's not possible that we go and bring soybean, GM soybean, and start cultivating in Pakistan. There are two reasons. One is that like we cannot use maize model or cotton model where you can bring one crop and just start to grow it. The problem is for soybean, you need to have area specific lines and season specific lines. So first you need to identify the jump log, and after identifying the proper line, particular lines, then you will use the technology and you will convert those conventional line to GM lines. So we have already started this work back like in 2018-19 using our elite lines. So we are using two systems. One is transgenic approaches, where we are trying to add some genes, and in parallel we are also using genome editing protocol, genome editing technology. And the good thing about genome editing is that it does not come, or it should not need to follow the trans genetic or the GM rule, because it's just the editing. So we at present we are targeting 10 agronomic and quality traits. So we are going to modify those, and the success is that we not only optimize the protocol, but uh, one of my student, he is working with University of Illinois. So we have reached at T3 stage. So hopefully within next 2 years, we will have GM version of our elite lines. So at the end, what I conclude that based on our research, that we can grow soybean at any time in any season in Pakistan. GM and GE genome edited soybean must be produced, but after following all the biosafety protocols. And then to promote soybean in the long run, we need to have area, season, and cropping pattern specific soybean lines. And the most important thing, we were talking about marketing. There should be a farmer and industry partnership. So in the end, I would like to thank HEC, PAR, Pakistan Science Foundation, USDA, Soybean Innovation Lab,